Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's BB23 updates and spoilers. Sorry we're a little late today, but Bowie is refusing to leave right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Happy Sunday! Hope you're all having a great day so far. Our house guests of the day are Nancy Graham and Donnie Greenwell. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want a house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Yay! Okay. I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that is a fantastic way to support this channel and keep us doing what we're doing. So Adley Bruges, Gail Murphy Comedy, and Josh G. Thank you all so much. And I see we already have a super chat here today from Candy. Candy, thank you so much for the super chat. And hi to Joey. Love you guys. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to let you guys know too. Today's spoiler is on the shorter end because the feeds were down a lot yesterday and they did not come back from the power veto competition until pretty late. But anyway, when we left off yesterday, Claire and Xavier up on the block. Just a reminder, Sarah Beth's original nominees. Why are you licking your butt? Sarah Beth's original nominees were Claire and Big D, but Alyssa won the chopping block roulette power and used it on Big D. So he is safe for the week. He can't be touched. And then after a spin of the wheel, the roulette wheel, Xavier was selected to replace Big D. Dang. So Alyssa is like using this power and then her number one ally gets put on the block. Yikes. But Xavier's not worried. He knows he has the votes to stay. He knows he has the cookout behind him. So he's playing it real cool right now. But Sarah Beth's end goal this week, she wants to backdoor Derek X. So they had the POV player picks, and the players are the HOH Sarah Beth, the two nominees, Claire and Xavier, and 3 extra players, Azah, Big D, and Alyssa. So that means that Derek X was not selected to play in the competition. It's not looking good for him. It sounds like pretty much every person playing would use the power of veto if they were to win. But Derek X is in denial. Oh my God. Or at least he was yesterday. I don't know about today. But yesterday, he was thinking he would be safe on the block against Xavier if Claire won and took herself down. No, you wouldn't. You would not be safe. Okay, so the feeds were down for 5 hours and 40 minutes for the competition yesterday. I don't know what exactly it was. It was some sort of timed competition. Are you leaving now, sir? Stay here, baby. It was some sort of timed competition, and they were all wearing like safari outfits after. So that sounds fun. This competition also involved punishments and prizes. Okay. So these were more, I would say, game-related punishments than like embarrassing punishments like they had in the other POV competition. So Xavier won the power of veto. Whoa, he'll be pulling himself off the block. But in order to win that veto, he also had to take a bunch of punishments. I believe he has 3 different punishments. Number 1, he is now BB Bucks bankrupt, which means he lost all of his BB Bucks. He had to give them up. Number 2, he will have to be spending 24 hours in solitary confinement. Yikes. And this will be happening leading right up to the live eviction on Thursday. So starting sometime on Wednesday, he's going to have to go into solitary confinement. Whoa. And he will also, this one really sucks though, this next one. If he does not win HOH next week, he will be the 3rd nominee. And if he does win HOH, then he will be the 3rd nominee the following week. So he's going to be the 3rd nominee in the next week that he's not HOH. Now, the way that this works, if someone uses the Coin of Destiny power next week and Xavier's already up as the 3rd nominee, he will still remain on the block. Whoever is controlling the Coin of Destiny will still make their 2 nominations, but Xavier will be up there next to them. He can only come off the block via the power of veto. Still, he doesn't seem that nervous about it because he's got the cookout to vote to keep him. So I feel like that should be really alarming to at least Alyssa, right? Because she's so close to him. Like, why are you not more nervous? What is going on here? But anyway, there were some prizes as well. Big D won $7,500. How nice for him. I'm not sure what other prizes and punishments people got. I did hear mention of people going for or having the option to go for 200 BB bucks, some sort of slot punishment, a veto disadvantage, like a disadvantage in a future veto competition. So I don't know if anyone actually ended up with those or if they were just options. But anyway, after the competition, Azah and Big D were chatting in the yacht club bedroom, and Azah is not happy that Big D went for the money instead of the power veto. She feels like it was not a good look, and she's also worried that she could potentially be going up as the replacement nominee. Bowie, what are you doing? So Big D says no. Sarah Beth is going to put up DX. You don't have to worry about it. But Big D says, I'm safe for the week. Why would I not go for that money? He says it's not guaranteed that I'm going to win this game. You know, and that money could pay my taxes. I guess he's had issues with taxes. But Azah's like, I know, but I'm worried about how that decision is going to be perceived by everyone else in the house. You know, Alyssa took you off the block this week and you got replaced by Xavier, and then you go for the money. Like, I don't know, not a great look. But Big D says, just walking into that competition, he knew it was not the comp for him. He had no chance of winning it, and he knew that Xavier or Alyssa was going to win the competition and be able to pull Xavier off the block. So Big D says, I'm playing my own game. And Oz is like, yeah, I realize that now. So Azah says it's just a difference in opinion. She ends up retracting what she said. Anyway, Big D does go around to Alyssa and Sarah Beth to check with both of them and make sure they're not upset with him for taking the money. And they were both like, it's fine. Like, we don't care. We got what we wanted. You know, Xavier won the power veto and will be taking himself down. So no harm, no foul as far as they're concerned. And what is Sarah Beth going to say about somebody taking money during a POV competition? Right. All right. So a little later, Claire, this was so sad. She's really having a tough time with this. I mean, she's up on the block. She lost the veto comp. She knows that Derek X is probably in trouble now. So she's crying in the shower. Oh, so Derek X comes in. He's laughing at her. He's like, you are not crying in the shower right now. He tells her, leave it in the diary room. And he did make her laugh a bit. I love their friendship. It's going to suck to see them get split up this week. But Derek X tells her, you're good. You don't have to worry this week. He feels there's a very high chance that he's going to be going up on the block. And at this point, Claire is like straight up sobbing. She's like, I know that I'm good. She wants him to be good too. Oh, okay. So then Tiffany comes in and Claire says she feels like she really let them down in that POV competition. But Tiffany's saying, no, you have to stay strong. You can't be concerned about what happened in the past. You are not going anywhere this week. Don't beat yourself up. And she says, I am not letting you leave this week. You're not going to jury. You're not going to home. So don't worry. Bowie, what are you doing? Bobo, relax. All right, good boy. He's chill now, for now. Okay, so Tiffany is telling Claire she's good. But then not long after, Tiffany's on the Sky Bridge with Hannah and Kylan. And oh my God, Hannah and Kylan were like huddled over the chessboard going over different scenarios. The chessboard, honestly, is like this year's sex tool. Like, it needs to be removed from that house. I'm sick of it. And I love the game of chess, but no. So Tiffany tells them she is open to whatever possibilities may arise this week. She says, if my spidey senses are leading me down the right path, I'm assuming that Derek X will be going up on the block. But if y'all decide to send Claire home this week, I'm not going to take it personally. She says, if you wanted to keep DX another week, you know, it is an option. So they all agree that DX is not coming after any of the three of them, Hannah, Tiffany, or Kylan. They feel good with him. But Kylan brings up, if Derek X stays, that's going to be a lot of pressure on him and Xavier to beat Derek X in future competitions when it is time for him to go. He's like, nobody's going to expect one of you two to take out Derek X. It's going to come down to me and Xavier having to do it. So he's not sure how he feels about that. But Kylan says he is considering it, though, because it would be good for his personal game to have Derek X around a little longer. I think he was even saying he would love for Derek X to be around until like Final 7. But Tiffany says point blank, like, I would choose Derek X to stay over Claire if it was up to me. So it just makes me so sad because, like, what about Claire? But honestly, Derek X would be much more exciting to keep in the game than Claire would be. But Hannah also says she would love for Derek X to stay. I mean, that's a no-brainer for her because Derek X is supposed to be her number one. So they discuss some pros and cons, and they feel like if Claire were to stay, she would be targeting more members of the cookout than Derek X would at this point. Is a flip brewing? I'm sure Tiffany will be pushing for it this week, but who knows what'll happen. So then, Bobo, relax, baby. So then Kylan and Xavier have a quick chat in the have-not room, and Kylan says, the reality is Claire as HOH has a higher probability of leaving 2 members of the cookout up on the block. He's bringing it up to Xavier now. So he says, Derek X is not coming after me, so I'd probably be safe next week. So again, for my own personal game, it'd be good for DX to stick around. But he also brings up, if DX needs to be beaten in competitions, everyone's going to be looking at me and you to get it done. Okay. So Xavier brings up also, hello, Derek X is going to have enough money for the Coin of Destiny next week. If we take him out, the only person that's going to have money for the Coin of Destiny will be Big D. He will be sitting pretty. And of course, Big D is in the cookout, so they would love for Big D to get that power. Honestly, like, it makes sense for the cookout to want Derek X out this week. It's just sad. It's sad. So then Sarah Beth and Kylan were chatting in the HOH room, and Sarah Beth says, all right, I'm trying to earn as much trust with the Kings as possible. That's why I went for the power veto in that competition instead of the prizes. So Sarah Beth says DX is going to be gone after this week. And she feels pretty confident that he will go, even if Tiffany does vote to keep him. We'll see. But she also doesn't think that Tiffany's really going to try and flip this vote. Do you know Tiffany? Where have you been the last, I don't know, however long it's been since the game started? But Sarah Beth is worried that Derek X will try to retaliate when she puts him up on the block. He could go to Xavier and Alyssa and tell them how Sarah Beth was playing both sides and working with DX, and that she knew about the plan to backdoor Christian ahead of time, and she lied about it. So Kylan thinks that they should be proactive about the situation and talk about it with Xavier and Alyssa before the POV ceremony, kind of get ahead of it. But Sarah Beth disagrees. She's like, I think we should just deny. But they can talk to Alyssa and Xavier about how Derek X approached them about making an alliance. Wasn't Sarah Beth the one that brought that up initially? I feel like she was. But anyway, Sarah Beth was also talking about wanting to go to the Final Four with Kylan, Xavier, and Alyssa, which I feel like makes no sense for Sarah Beth's game. I don't see how this would be good for her. You're going to the end with 3 strong competitors. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know that any of them would actually take her to the Final 2. But also, this scenario of this Final Four is very unlikely to even have a chance of happening. But Sarah Beth doesn't know that. So Sarah Beth says, after this, after we get out Derek X, we should get rid of the stragglers. She's talking about Hannah, Tiffany, and Claire. Wake up, Sarah Beth. You are one of the actual stragglers, and you are doing the cookout's dirty work this week. Crazy. But anyway, after a while, Derek X comes up to chat with them, and he's like, all right, so am I getting backdoored? So they all laugh. He's great. I'm going to miss him if he goes. But Sarah Beth says, I don't really have a lot of options to nominate as a replacement. She says, I'm not set on anything, but I am considering all options. That's not what you want to hear from the HOH. So Derek X does end up making a little bit of a pitch right here. He says, if you look at the house dynamics right now, there are a lot of duos. So we would have a much better chance of making it to the end as a trio against all of those duos. And he says, I have a 50% chance of winning the coup d'etat power next week, the coin of destiny. It's going to be me or Derek F. We don't really know what Derek F would do with that power, but if I win, I would do whatever you want with it. I wouldn't put either of you up on the block. So he's making his pitch, and again, it sounds like pretty good, and it sounds like it would benefit Sarah Beth's game, but Sarah Beth she's blind to all this. So Sarah Beth was talking to Kyland alone after, and she says, I'm not going to get this shot again. Which, I mean, is a good point, but also, like, you kind of need allies right now. So she says she still wants to put up Derek X as the replacement nominee. Okay, so the power veto ceremony should be tomorrow. We'll see how much campaigning is going on today. I'm sure Derek X will want to talk to Sarah Beth and Kylan some more. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is going to try and go to bat for him. We'll see what happens, but Big Brother woke up the house guests pretty early today for a Sunday. So I don't know what that's all about, but I guess we'll find out. So thank you all so much for being here.
What went on in here?
I don't know, but it smells kind of like poop. Anyway, right? Hi, Lulu. Minnie, what happened?
Guess you had to dig out a duty bubble.
Oh, Bowie.
Still going for it.
All right, guys. So I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are awesome.
But can I just say, for all the vegan videos, we're like, hey, we wish we had smell-o-vision.
Oh, no.
Now is a good time that we don't.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm dying in here with that. It's been rough. So I want to thank all of our super chatters. Candy, thank you so much. Don MH302, thank you so much. ARChan1785, thank you so much. And he has a question. Are you surprised there have been no wall yellers spilling the beans on the cookout? That's a good question. I don't know if they beefed up their security this season or what. But I'm glad that it hasn't been spoiled because wall yellers are kind of a bummer.
I don't really enjoy the wall yellers.
I then again, a lot of times if a wall yeller says something that benefits the person that I'm rooting for, I'm like, hell yeah. But no, I think it would be really sad and it would take away from the game. And the cookout is making history this season. So it would be really effed up if somebody messed that up for them. But anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Adley Bruges, thank you so much for the super chat. Hell yeah, the towel's back. We got tight schedule today. So got to do what you got to do. Mary B, thank you so much for the super chat. We really, really appreciate it. All right. I told you guys it was going to be a short one today. We got to get out of here. But thank you all so much for watching. For anybody who is in the path of the hurricane, please stay safe, be smart, be careful. And we'll see you guys all later. Yeah, we'll see you later for tonight's episode recap. So thank you again for being here. And until next time, much love. Here's your awkward ending. Bye.